Around the world and across Nigeria, this is still Enterprise Morning on Enterprise Television, and now to our main conversation for today. The scarcity of premium motor spirit, commonly referred to as petrol, being witnessed by Nigerians may not abate anytime soon. As a matter of fact, it is a situation that has all the trappings of an artificial induced creation than an organic one. Well, anyone in doubt has only to take a look at what the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association of Nigeria, IPAN, have advanced as reasons the scarcity of the product will last up to 2 weeks. On Sunday, IPAN's spokesman, Chinedu Okadike, attributed this to one, the difficulty in locating the product because, according to him, the majority of refineries in Europe are undergoing turnaround maintenance. 2. Importation bottlenecks. And 3. The slow pace at which the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority renews our marketers' licenses. As at now, transportation in many cities, including Abuja and Lagos, have been grounded following the lingering fuel scarcity issue. Some fuel stations have already shut down. To discuss this very sensitive matter, today with me in the studio is Emeka Amadunago. He is a journalist and public affairs commentator. And also I have with me Mr. Cyril Abaku, also a public affairs analyst. Good morning, gentlemen, and welcome.
Good morning.
To Enterprise Morning today.
Good morning, Harry.
All right, so let's kickstart this whole issue. And I'd love to start with you, Mr. Emeka. And I'd love us to maybe go down memory lane for a while. It has it here that while at a campaign rally in Abuja, the Ogun State capital, recently, that was there, and Mr. Tinubu said that the cash crunch and fuel scarcity were ployed by saboteurs to prevent him from winning the 25th February election. That was before the elections, February 25th, 2023. Now it's almost 1 year President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is in administration, and we still have fuel scarcity ravaging the entire country. What do you think is the matter now? Is it saboteurs or something else that we do not know?
Well, maybe the saboteurs are led by Tinubu himself. Maybe he's the chief saboteur. Because talk is cheap. It's easy, when you hold the microphone and you're on the rostrum, to blame others but yourself for the mistakes you see. And today, the chickens have come home to roost to show you that a new way of thinking is what we need in different sectors of our economy. Unfortunately, the people in power in successive administrations continue to think in the same old way. This is an economy of over 200 million people, and you are likely to be grounded by fuel scarcity, avoidable fuel scarcity. That is the biggest indicator that we have a most incompetent administration in place. Because this thing has been a recurring decimal. By now, you ought to have mastered what are, the likely triggers and been able to deal with them. But when you're telling us some refineries in Europe are shut down, and so is it only Europe? They sell PMS. You have been telling us that the refinery in Port Harcourt that tankers are already, that trucks are already lined up to load. Meanwhile, the Senator Ifeanyi Uba, who is in charge of, has been visiting refineries to ascertain the level of turnaround maintenance, came out to tell us that the work at Port Harcourt refinery would soon get to 90%. So that means it's all been lies. A government that chooses to run on falsehood will continue to hit his head on the rocks until he decides to honestly confront the issues.
Yes. Mr. Cyril, do you agree with the submission?
So, if you remember very well, Emeka and I were on this platform in December last year. Yeah. After the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Heineken Mekobri, famously said that the refinery was ready and that the engineers only had to go for Christmas break to come back. For that's for those who bought the lie.
Okay.
Engineers are going for Christmas break. Engineers who are supposed to be helping us to get fuel are going for Christmas break. That by the time they came back in January, we have enough fuel to go around the country, or enough to shore up whatever it was that we needed to the stopgap. It was a lie. Emeka and I said that even up till, I remember we said that even up till April, there's no fuel. And this is the end of April. There's no fuel. We're vindicated. But let's come back to the reasons Ipman was even advancing, shamefully so. One, they said because the refineries in Europe were largely what? Undergoing maintenance. There are two things to bust that light. One is the fact that there should be contractual agreements between Nigeria and anywhere the product is going to. Because you see, even if they are going to do maintenance, they will factor in those with whom they have obligation. You know, we are not even buying this petrol, like daily speaking. It's an agreement that we give you crude, you refine and send back to us. So what is the issue of refineries and maintenance? Who are they even saying that to? It's a shame, quite frankly speaking. Number two, the West doesn't work like Nigeria and Africa. I'm sorry to put it that way. If they are going to undergo turnaround maintenance, we should have known. For two reasons. One, they would have informed us. Or number two, why do we have certain specialized departments in the Ministry of Petroleum? There are people that do forecasting. There are those who monitor trends around the world. Who can tell us, say, Honorable Minister or PAMSEC, you may note that by this and next month, something is going to happen, and these are the steps that Nigeria should be taking. There are advisors in the ministry. There are some of us whose work is basically to monitor what's going on globally and advise government. So during their advice, even if they didn't advise, don't we have our own listening posts? Henry, you know what listening posts are? Every government must have people that they pay, whose job, even if it's not officially to grant, whose job must be to strategically be positioned in certain parts of the world to check, to eavesdrop on what's going on and feedback Nigeria. For example, let me just digress a bit. You hear that Cameroon has opened the dam and it's flooding Nigerian communities and that they didn't know. Come, you must be lying. This is the truth. In Cameroonian media, they would have been announcing it. Normally, our embassy in Cameroon, what is their work in Yaoundé? Being our embassy, I know supposed to monitor what's going on in Cameroon and feedback Nigeria. Even if the embassy didn't know, don't you have eyes and ears listening? They call them listening posts. Maybe you want me to be more naked with the truth. You need to have spies. They ought to be checking what's going on in the body, and because anything they do there will affect you. That's what they call economic intelligence. Yes. It's a sector like oil and gas that's Nigeria's major cash cow. You can't afford to take it unawares. It's not done anywhere. You must know what is. So the excuse that refineries in Europe are doing maintenance and that there's a disruption in the flow is maybe if the NNPC had taken its hands off as the sole importer of petrol, right? Private investors would have been able to act better. Because if Europe is such that you can go to India, you can go to the US, you can go to other places, even Brazil. How is it that because the NNPC is running a monopoly of the sector, they're telling us now that, and this is Ipman speaking, not even Moman. Because I believe that by the time Moman begins to speak, that's
Moman already spoke. They said that the scarcity will clear in a matter of days. Okay. No, the NNPC said some days ago that the scarcity was caused by logistics and that they are taking care of it. I knew it was not true. Okay, so now this is the idea. The most powerful NNPC saying the matter has been taken care of. The second most powerful Moman saying the matter will take care of in days. Now, if man says to take up to 2 weeks. So something is fundamentally fishy.
Yes, exactly. Something is fundamentally fishy, and that's basically what we want us to dig more into. What is that exactly that Nigerians are not seeing? That, of course, is all over the place. Okay. That's really making this issue very difficult.
Let me hazard an intervention here. Henry, if you put 2 and 2 together, we were told that around the world, 2 is a powerful number because 2 plus 2 is 4. 2 times 2 is also 4. You know what I mean? But that math doesn't apply in Nigeria. You have to be careful about a sector in which government took subsidy away. That same government came back. Logically speaking, is paying subsidy.
But they refuted that.
Somebody put the figure at 1 trillion. They didn't say anything. When El Rufai came and said it was around 600 billion or so, or somebody else said it, then they came out and said the IMF also said the same thing, or it was the IMF or World Bank. They didn't refute it. the refutal or the rejoinder was to Rufai, was not to the fact of the matter. So so a sector in which government is now paying more money to the states, ostensibly because something has been taken away. But now they are even paying more than the past government were paying. It means that the first problem with the sector is lack of transparency. Yes. If you're looking for what the problem is, you never find it all. But those who are neck deep in the mess know what they're driving at.
All right.
And in the end, we are more concerned about the symptoms: poverty, wasted time, lack of productivity. Now look at Abuja and Lagos. People are grounded and stranded. People are, you finish the queues are so long.
Definitely.
They are long up as much as a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles.
True.
How does any government, and the president is in
World Economic Forum
saying that the something he took away was a tough test and that the Nigeria would have gone bankrupt. Is it the Nigerian government going bankrupt, or the Nigerian people going bankrupt? Because Nigerians are already going bankrupt. Let me pause there for a minute.
All right. Mr. Meka, Mr. Cyril talked about transparency of those in governance. Now, let's take a look at the place of propaganda in all of this. And, so many Nigerians have, said that the government of Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been badly infested with, taking, actions even before they decide on what they are supposed to do in the first place. And the propaganda has always been used as a means or tools to make that happen, as against what should be done in making things better. Now, I'd love to ask, why do you think the government of the day has chosen the path of propaganda than getting things done the way it should be done?
Well, propaganda is, permit me to use the word, a necessary tool in public engagement. When I say necessary, I say it with every sense of responsibility. It's not as if I'm saying that propaganda is such a positive tool. So, but it's to the extent that every government deploys it one way or the other, particularly when it's in a mess, when it's in the soup. So, but that's for those who really want to be interested in such. Other than that, the reality is that, one, our refineries are in a bad shape. Two, our supply system, fuel supply system, is in a bad shape. In fact, it's non-existent.
Yeah.
It's dependent on trucking to far areas of the country, far-flung areas of the country. If you run any product through the pipeline network, it will be vandalized.
But you would agree, with me, Mr. Meka, this has been a perennial issue. It's been there even before.
Yeah, so why should the issue be coming up again? That is, see, government is a continuum. Government exists for the security and well-being of the people. The fact that it's coming up under this administration shows that they don't even understand what the problem is in the first place.
Yeah.
Now, we have about 24 refinery licenses in Nigeria, 4 in the hands of the federal government, and then 20 in the hands of private individuals. Now, these refineries are scattered in different places. And you have told us that Dangote refinery was on stream to, sort out the issues of, petroleum products. We've not seen that. You told us that some other refinery, Water Smith. Since last year, we hear that Water Smith has been selling. If you go online, but I've not seen anybody say, my filling station is selling petroleum products from Water Smith. So where is it going to? You hear of another refinery in Edo State where they said, they are helping to bridge the situation of fuel supply. Where are his products?
Yeah.
So the point is that, you see, if we want to deregulate the sector, let us just clearly deregulate the sector.
Totally.
That is it. I've been for that. I'm not for all this subsidy removal and all that, because it's mad in opacity and corruption and mind-boggling theft of state resources. If we're going for deregulation, let's go straight for deregulation, so that what will happen is that, people will be free to sell products at deregulated prices. But the problem there is that when you start that, the same government, through its incompetence, and then the vested interests of corrupt individuals, will sabotage the process. Why do I say that? Look at diesel. Diesel was already guaranteed as a deregulated product. No problem. What happened? Diesel went to 1,006, and then government said, "Oh, it is too much, oh, it's too high, oh." Then we began to see interventions here and there. Dangote started saying it would bridge the supply deficit in diesel. Then the next thing we heard was that, well, we will be able to do it because the quality of the diesel is lower than that being imported. Even though they refuted it. But you see, the point is this. We need to move beyond government's intervention to real implementation of policies. That's the problem we've had in our country.
Yeah.
Food prices rise. You talk about, okay, we will shut down the shops of people selling prices and all of those things are knee-jerk reactions. What we need is this. If fuel is scarce, it is because we've allowed, like NNPC said, we've allowed some bottlenecks in certain places. Solve those bottlenecks.
Yeah.
NNPC says we have adequate supply. Where is the adequate supply? Dangote said they brought down the price of diesel. So what it means is that trucks should be in a position to move diesel. And then a lot of companies are converting their trucks to use CNG. So what is the problem exactly?
All right.
The problem is this, that look, those in government took many things for granted. Now those things are being upended by the realities on the ground.
All right, so let's look at the economic implication of all of this. Inflation today stands at 32% now, and just like in the power sector, they have classified us from A to E, I guess, band A to E. Right now, in some north-eastern part of Nigeria, a liter of fuel sells for 2,000 naira. Now, I'd love for you to maybe bring us up to speed on what the real economic implication of all of this is to Nigeria.
So, yes, thank you for that question, Henry. I think the simplest and easiest way to address that issue is to drive it towards the common man.
Okay.
He is the one who bears the brunt of all of this in the end. Is that not so? And the fact is that people are losing livelihoods. Purchasing power of the naira is crumbling. People are families are no longer able to make ends meet, which means crime will be on the upswing. And when this becomes the case, we're heading towards Thomas Hobbes' prophecy of the state in which life is brutish and short. Okay, people are beginning to lose meaning of what it means to be part of what is going on as far as existence is concerned. And government must, because you see, anytime you talk about the economy, you just look at it. Anywhere you write anything and say in the economy, you can actually say people, the people, and it's the same thing that it stands for. Anytime you use the word the economy, you can say the people, and it fits in. So the economy is not just a system of statistics. It is actually lives. Look at people who are standing and the fuel queues. Companies are not able to produce. Companies are grounded. Jobs will go. And more people are going to fall into the unemployment market. How does any serious purposive government do this kind of thing without declaring an emergency in the sector? The president should have flown in from Switzerland to come and address this issue today, but he will not. The reason they call us Generator Republic in South Africa is because when you look at the way what fuel does for Nigerians, it doesn't just power our cars, it powers our homes and offices too. Sadly so. Now, electricity is nowhere to be found.
Exactly.
Right? And if you feel that would have used to power our homes and offices, is also scarce. So that what then? The economy is grounded. The economy is grounded. So that is where we are. Government must wake up to do the needful, which is to make the reasons they are given are very funny. I have said time and again that any success you are planning or intending or organizing for yourself, in which you do not have all the factors that will make that success possible, it means you're not pursuing success. So when government comes and says that the process of renewing license by the national, are you kidding? So why can't they expedite that up? Who is the American government that will do that for us?
They've even shut down the portal.
What are you good? So what are we talking about? It means the government is deliberately sabotaging Nigerians and keeping fuel away and impoverishing us. Is that right? Did we vote for that?
Well, we're just about to coast home right about now. But in 30 seconds, Mr. Emeka, in a couple of days from now, this administration of Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be celebrating its 1 year in power. And the question is, what do you think this administration should be celebrating in 1 year?
It should only be celebrating the fact that they have been enjoying subsidy from Nigerians for 1 year. A lot of questions still remain unanswered. A lot of unresolved issues. You have the exchange rate. You jumped into floating the naira. That one has ended. You have the issue of insecurity. You have the issue of the economy. Inflation has gone up. Inflation rate has gone up. You've not been able to tame food inflation, which is the biggest problem. And which at the inception of this administration, I was one of those that said that if this government wants to succeed, it should find a way to tame food inflation. It's a major thing, but no way. What it did was just, fuel subsidy is gone. Floating of naira, which even made matters worse. Where are we today? So now we still have the issue of minimum wage. There are expectations that by Wednesday, that a new minimum wage will be announced. Workers are eagerly waiting. And you can imagine, in a situation of crisis, fuel scarcity, you now announce a new minimum wage. I mean, I don't know if we might just be looking at the Venezuela bus stop.
Your final thoughts, Mr.
No, what I think is the government should stop this propaganda and lying about but that's finally working. If it is not working, it's not working yet. The NNPC should not be the sole person controlling this importation of pay. If you deregulated, let people get access to also be able to import so that the market can be flung wide open if that's what you want. And then, please, subsidy should be restored. If indeed it should be restored so that Nigerians are not earning so little and spending so much on what does not matter.
Very true. Just like we've often said, good leadership and good governance and rocket science. It's about having the right leader who understands the right things to do. A leader who has a skin in the game. And when we keep having leaders who do not have a skin in the game, we would keep having issues coming up every other time. What Nigerians are asking for is good governance at its best. Thank you so very much, gentlemen, for being part of our show. It was really indeed a very good discussion. Thank you so much very once more. So for you watching, we'd love to say thank you also for taking our time to be part of our show today. Please do well to visit our website at www.enterprisetv.com, like, comment, and follow us on all our social media platforms at Enterprise TV7. I am Henry Ikwebike on behalf of the entire team. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye from us.
Enterprise TV, a tradition of truth.